one of the more heartbreaking things has been released, and just preparing for the show today, it really disturbed me. But I want to play it because it's important. And what it is a 10-year-old survivor of Uvalde who was in the school and called 911. And this is the audio of her conversation with the 911 dispatcher. So if you're not wanting your day to be significantly impacted by this right now, you maybe want to circle back. I do want to warn you again, this is very, very emotionally impactful. So you've been warned, but again, this is the audio that CNN has obtained of her conversation, this 10-year-old survivor, Chloe Torres, with the 911 dispatcher.
Hello.
I'm calling with the police. Are you okay?
No, there's a school shooting.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I have multiple units there. Are you with officers or are you barricaded somewhere?
I'm in classroom. What's the classroom number? 1012.
112?
112, yes, ma'am.
What's your name, ma'am?
Chloe Torres, please hurry. There's a lot of dead bodies.
Line, okay? You said you're in classroom 112?
Yes, ma'am. Please help.
You can hear injured people in the room crying out in pain. The dispatcher asks Chloe to tell her classmates to stay quiet. She does her best.
You need to tell them that they need to be quiet.
I'm going to tell everybody because of their mouth. Nobody was in me. I know how to handle these situations. My dad taught me when I was a little girl. Send help. One of my teachers are still alive, but they're shot.
Less than 2 minutes.
So, obviously that is brutal, but for our podcast listeners, she's going back and forth with this dispatcher. The dispatcher is telling her what she should be telling her friends. And one of the parts about this that is incredible on her part, but then in addition, just super sad, is the fact that she is staying remarkably calm. And one of the lines that she said is, my dad taught me how to deal with situations like this. I know how to handle this. And she's trying to direct her friends about what to do and the people around her. And we shouldn't be in a situation in our country. Again, this is a very unique problem in how bad it is to the United States among developed countries, where elementary school kids are having to be trained on how to deal with this type of situation. Someone coming in with a gun designed to kill people on the battlefield and slaughtering them, and then watching all their friends be killed, or a bunch of them, and their teacher being shot. And then to highlight the messed up response to all of this, it kind of showed the timeline on the original CNN report about this, where after this call was made, 40 minutes passed before the police officers actually went in and confronted the shooter. That is not right. I get people have brought up the fact that, well, it's a small town, so they don't know. No. There were at one point hundreds of police officers on site, and they were just sitting there. I mean, I don't know what, still to this moment, what happened. And you can hear her asking repeatedly, as you'll see later in this same CNN report, you know, where are the police officers? And the dispatcher says they're on site or they're at the school. How confusing must that have been for this little girl? Continuing.
It's into the call at 12:12 p.m. The Uvalde dispatcher sends an urgent message to police on the scene.
320. Go ahead with that child's information relayed.
Officer child is advising he is in the room full of victims at this moment.
10-4, Uvalde. Can you confirm to see if that shooter is still standing? Or is he shot himself?
If active shooter protocol had been followed, this dispatch should have triggered police to spring into action and breach the classroom. Instead, 38 minutes were allowed to go by as more officers arrive on scene with more equipment until something is done. Nearly 400 officers responded in Uvalde. Chloe wanted to know where they were.
How far are y'all away?
They're inside of the building, okay? You need to stay quiet, okay?
They're inside the building. You just need to stay quiet.
So you can hear her again telling her classmates what was going on. We'll stop it there. But again, 38 minutes passes after they're having a conversation with this girl who's able to give them something you don't always have in the situation, which is analysis or insight into what's going on in the room. So now the police officers know he's indeed in there. There's still victims in there. So if we were even remotely following protocol, it would be to breach the room and confront the shooter. But that's not what happened. And still, all of the proper individuals have not been held accountable for this. So obviously, the beginning is just on a human level, this is heartbreaking. Then you have the fact that law enforcement in this situation messed up so deeply and needs to be held accountable for that. Then you have the fact that in the aftermath of this, the Texas state government has not taken action to prevent future things like this on a significant level. And the federal government still, because of obstruction from Republicans, hasn't taken proper action to make sure that children are safe going to school. So deeply heartbreaking stuff there. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.